Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I wanted to try something a little bit different. So you guys probably read in the title, I'm going to be using my previous opponent's team. So whoever I just played, I'm going to use their team in the next battle. I think this is a great way to just get used to different Pokemon, and if you're looking for a team, trying out all these different teams can help you find a team that you like. Right off the bat, we're going to be running Jason2890's team, which is Annihilate, Dugong, and Bastiodon. I chose that team just because I wanted to choose a random team to start with, but here we got an Annihilate mirror match. Not even sure how this plays out. I mean, you guys saw that I just made this thing as well as my Shadow Glagar, and that's a little bit of an issue. I don't know what the last mon is there. I went into Azu because I thought, I went into Bastiodon because most Azus don't run Hydro Cannon anymore, but yeah. So I decided to bring for Alligator. I thought that back kind of made sense back there. So okay, so next up he comes in with this. I'm gonna be throwing play roughs here. I'm not even sure. I think you could go Ice Beam, but that wouldn't have killed right there. But now I can start going Ice Beams. I wanted to keep switch here, I know that. I'm actually very surprised to not see a bait there. He went Shadow Ball, so that's good. Able to shield up the nuke. I'm gonna go Ice Beam because I think it's enough. And he's going to shield that. So I'm I'm probably gonna use my next shield here. Yep. I actually shield the Shadow Ball again, so very surprising about that. I want to make sure I get that move off, so I'm going to Ice Beam this. He comes back in with this thing, but luckily for me, he is not able to farm down. I'm able to get to a move. Now, I'm thinking here I can just sweep with Annihilate. So I'm gonna let this go. I'm just gonna throw the Hydro Cannon. Even if he shields it, not a big deal at all. I'm actually surprised that he lived it, but yeah, if he shields it, not a big, or if he catches it, not a big deal. I could just come in and farm this down. He realizes the game is over, so able to take that game. Next up, we're using the Vigoroth, Deoxys, and Annihilate triple counter team. So we come up with a Charmer. Thankfully, it's Wigglytuff, which takes neutral counters. So I'm gonna farm up as much as possible, then throw my first Body Slam on good timing. Here I'm gonna throw one again and get the Body Slam off. He shields the first one, so that means I know he's going for switch. And then I'm gonna let this go because I can. Deoxys is super tanky, and I can farm it down before it gets to another move. I'm thinking. So I'm coming in to farm it down. He's like, oh, I want to get out of here. He comes into a Victory Bell. So now that he's down a shield, I have 2 Psycho Boosts, and I can just double Psycho Boost it. Even if he shields this, this next one's gonna do a lot of damage. And I'm gonna throw the Psycho Boost, and I want to sweep with Annihilate this end game. So he throws his energy, thankfully. I think he would have had to anyways, but yeah. I'm gonna come down and farm down with Annihilate. He's gonna come in with his Wigglytuff. It's not quite able to get to an Icy Wind, so I'm not gonna be debuffed, and he's got a Basti in the back, so that's pretty much GG's there. So now I'm forced to use a Toxic Team. No worries though. These teams are fun. I mean, I don't even mind them. Next up, he is coming in with Lickitung, so already lead into Lickitung. This is a good matchup for Wigglytuff, resisting the licks. I'm just gonna build up as much as possible, and he's gonna throw another one right before I get to my Icy Wind. Oh, I have Ice Beam on this thing. I was wondering why it was taking more to get to the Icy Wind than the Disarming Voice, but yeah, that's why. Okay, makes sense. He comes in with Azu. I'm able to just one shield and farm this thing down, so I'm gonna do that. Shielding the Ice Beam, and he is gonna top left. So I'm thinking there was probably a water type back there. I didn't get to see it, so I decided to go with Poliwrath. Last time I would have went with Feraligatr, but I did that last time, so I just went with Poliwrath here. This thing, I'm gonna be throwing Body Slams against it. I think I did it right before he got to 2 Psycho Boosts. No, yeah, so he's gonna throw, let's see, he's gonna throw a Thunderbolt, and I'm gonna throw right before he gets the Psycho Boost, so I'm able to get this move off at least. I think I would have lived the Psycho Boost, but I wanted to make sure to get this damage off. There, I kind of stopped tapping because I want to get as much farm on my Poliwrath as possible. He comes in with Feraligatr, so this is a really good situation. Here my plan is probably just to double farm or double shield and farm this thing all the way down. And it's especially good doing that with with Poliwrath because you have Icy Winds and you can debuff it, right? Debuff whatever comes in. He comes in with, let's see, Gligar. So I'm able to throw these Icy Winds. Now I'm worried about a catch here. So I'm just going to watch out for the catch. Move goes through. I throw the Icy Wind, and there's no point in risking going for the next Icy Wind when I have my Azumarill that knows Ice Beam. So maybe I could have made it to the next Icy Wind, but I mean it's safer just going to Azu. Claim my set, nice 5-0 to 28-47. Next up we lead into Lickitung. So the licks and the counters are both going to be doing super effective here. Not wanting to throw the Psycho Boost right away, right? Because then I'll just get debuffed. So he's going to throw the Body Slam. I realize I can probably get to a Thunder and a Body Slam or Thunder and a Psycho Boost just by how much that Body Slam did. So I go ahead and do that. He's going to throw this next one, and I'm able to live actually. I want to get the Psycho Boost off, so I'm going to throw that. This is going to do a good chunk, but he actually decides to shield it. And this looks like perfect range for my Gligar to farm down, right? I'm going to have to use one shield on the Body Slam. I guess I don't have to, but I mean, I want to keep health, especially with all this energy I'm about to have. And I'm able to farm it down, so that was a really good trade for me. Comes in with a Mantine. Thankfully, he came in with his Mantine because my Gligar or my Feraligatr doesn't really want to see it. Like if it did, whoop-de, not a big deal. If you got a little bit of energy and shield advantage, could be fine. But he's going to wait for that move to go through, make sure I don't catch. So good play by him. And I'm going to farm up as much as possible. So I think he's one away from the Water Pulse / Ice Beam. So what he's going to do is wait for the move to go through, but he actually waits a little bit too long, and I'm able to get to that Aerial Ace. So going to do that, and then he comes in with Annihilate. I'm going to throw this Aerial Ace, but he's going to CMP tie me with a Night Slash. That's going to take me out, but I got the Mighty Feraligatr, Mighty Rank 1 Shadow Feraligatr in the back. Going to be able to take out this Annihilate and win the game. So Hydro Cannon goes through. Going to knock this thing down, knock this thing out, and take the win there. If you guys are wondering, I'm going to put the journal at the end of this video just to see that they're all in a row, if anybody is wondering. But here we lead into a Lickitung versus Lickitung lead matchup. Here I like to farm up as much as possible. I like to have as much energy on my Lickitung as possible here. So right before I get to 100 energy, I'm going to throw the Body Slam, and then I'm going to do it again. I mean, you can only do that so much by the time that you don't want to let him get all of his energy off and just have to shield or die, you know. So eventually I'll have to unleash it all, but I'm going to keep farming up a lot. Throw these Body Slams. Kind of a boring matchup. Reminds me of Azu versus Azu. Let's see what happens. Throws the Body Slam. Yeah, I want to go straight Body Slam here. Don't need to go Power Whip. I land mine, and I guess he wasn't going for the CMP tie. I don't know. His was best buddy, so maybe he knew he was going to lose that. Maybe I'll take that out. Comes in with Poliwrath. He gets a good farm down, but I have a Mantine. Really, both my back Pokemon are kind of hard counter this thing. But he is going to get to the Icy Wind, so it's going to be able to debuff me pretty early on. I mean, that Lickitung versus Lickitung matchup, there's like, I could totally see why I'd lose that on purpose, you know, and come in with, get a bunch of energy on Poliwrath. So maybe he was planning on losing that, but worked out in my favor at least. So he's going to Icy Wind me again. He's actually going to stay in, then he swaps out. I'm going to swap out to reset my debuff, and then just go straight Shadow Balls here. He is going to, let's see, let this one go. So that's pretty much game for me. I pretty much won this game unless I make some stupid call. I let that go because my Mantine can just, I mean, bubbles aren't going to do anything to it. And I'm going to go double Night Slash here, because he's bound to shield it. So then for sure he is in farm down range and aerial ace range. So yeah. My attack actually rose. He swapped in, but my counter took it out. I guess he was trying to catch my Mantine's Aerial Ace. But yeah, GG's. Next up, we're using this guy's team, Lickitung. Poliwrath, Azumarill. Gonna space swap my Azumarill. He comes in with Skarmory, so if I remember correctly, I'm able to take switch here, but spoiler, I make a little bit of a misplay here. I want to go up to Hydro Cannon to at least try to bait that out. He throws on good timing, so not worried about shielding this first one. Very unlikely to be a Brave Bird if anything, but gonna throw the Icy Wind or the Ice Beam before the Hydro Cannon or the Hydro Pump because he was at a move and I wanted to get that move off first. So I think I can take switch here, or at least get another shield at least. So I shield that. I wait for that move to go through, and he actually sneaks another move in, kind of like what happened earlier. So that is going to allow him to actually farm me down. So big misplay by me. I mean, you try to make the good play sometimes, and it doesn't work out. So yeah. He's gonna Sky Attack and throw another move against my Lickitung, but I'm not too worried about that. Lickitung's not gonna do much against a Vigoroth. He comes in with Sableye, so I'm thinking, oh, there's a win con here. I'm gonna farm up as much as possible and get this Scald off on this Sableye. But there's still a Vigoroth in the back. You'd think Poliwrath is gonna absolutely crap on Vigoroth, but it's got a full health and there's no shield, so I'm gonna throw the Scald. Do not get a debuff. Not a big deal though. This guy does a good job over farming, knowing that he needs energy more than he needs health because licks aren't gonna do anything to it. So he over farms a lot, and I'm not quite able to make it to the Body Slam. So he is actually gonna get to his Body Slam first, take out my Lickitung. Another loss there. Next up, we lead this into Vigoroth into Charjabug, followed by, I didn't have a Shadow Sableye, and I really didn't want to build one, so I'm just going to use Purified. This is the only one I didn't actually use of my opponents, so the only other thing I don't really have is a Carbink, I think. So thankfully, I didn't have to deal with that. But yeah, there I baited. Not sure how this matchup is supposed to play out. So I just baited. I mean, I know double Body Slam's going to do good work to it, so there, I decided not to bait. He's going to shield that one up too. And now I see that I'm up 2 shields. I'm going to swap into my my Sableye actually, because one foul play is going to kill it. I was playing a double shielding and just foul playing it. But he comes in as a really good answer with Mandibuzz. So that first Dark Pulse lands. And then I just don't want to shield this. I don't really feel like shielding it. So I'm going to let it go. Come in with this, farm up as much as possible. I will need to use a Sky Attack, but it's alright. Basically, I didn't really want to shield my my Sableye because if I'd use a shield, his Charjabug has another move, or actually 2 moves on already loaded, so he would have just unleashed both of those and taken me out. So now I need to start shielding, right? Because my Lickitung's a little bit weak, or my Vigoroth is a little bit weak. And I thought that Sky Attack would for sure kill, right? It doesn't actually kill. Surprised by that. I mean, Skarmory, I don't know. I just don't think Skarmory is that good, to be honest. But everyone seems to like it, especially with all the lanterns around. Here I'm thinking one con is I can just Brave Bird something. He actually has a lantern, so he's running Electric in the lead and in the back. So kind of tough, but not able to take that one. Here, if you remember, he was running Lickitung with Mantine and Annihilate in the back. So with my backline, real quick, once it shows, it's Lantern and Mandibuzz. So Mandibuzz is going to hard counter the Annihilate, and Lantern's going to hard counter the Mantine that he has back there. So definitely I just need to switch here. So I'm going to have to shield up this one because I know I need switch. Kind of like, I had an advantage knowing his team, and he probably knew my team, but since I've been just using my opponent's team, he didn't know what I was running. So gonna go for switch here. He's gonna shield that up, so I'm gonna have to use another shield, but I figure that's alright. Gonna try to farm this down. He tries to snipe with Annihilate, but not able to do so. I actually tried to click discharge, and then I was like, well, why don't I just come in Mandibuzz and save the discharge? I already know I got this game, unless he changed his team up. Gonna go for the super effective Aerial Laces here. Land the first one. Gonna land the second one. Throwing on bad timing, but I wanted to do it before I got to another move. I guess I tried to undercharge it a little bit. He comes in with Mantine. I was gonna go for good timing to throw there, but I mean, I already knew I had this game, so I just was like, not even worried about it. Wait for the move to go through, throw in the Dark Pulse, and then I'm gonna come in. I mean, there really was no point to throw that Dark Pulse, but decided to able to take that game for a total of 8-2 set. I think, or 8-2 in total, but yeah, 3-2 here. Catching my Wooloo, pushing me up to 2870. So I'm considering actually just going all the way to Legend to do this. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. If you guys would like to see that, make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.